This is Primetime Poulton, keep it entertaining. You already knowin', outworking everybody and he don't ever quit. Talking about plenty comics like Graveyard Shift, Sea Dogs, Fighting Wolf, U.S. Assassin, doing just what he loves. This is his passion. Bring more value to your dollar. No, I'm not frontin'. That's how just a writer became a moral compass. This is Primetime Poulton. This is Primetime Poulton. Let's go.
Hey guys, what's up? Happy Thursday. It's the Moral Compass. Mark Poulton, your CGWF World Champion. And today I got two creators joining me. I got a friend of the show, Dojo Kun, comics in the house. What's up, Doge? And he's muted.
I am muted. Here we are. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Thanks for having me on, Mark.
Yeah, no problem. And we also got Jake Adams in the house. Jake, let me unmute. There he is.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. You have a co-host with you too, right?
I do. I'm trying to run away from him as I keep moving around the house, but you know.
Yeah, no problem. So we'll understand when you're muted. You're taking care of your little one. But we're here to talk about both of your books. But first, I just want to make some quick plugs. I have Loose Threads currently on Indiegogo. We're in the last 5 days of the campaign. What happens to comic book creators when their series are canceled? A group of characters, they break out into the real world to track their creator down at a comic convention to make him finish their stories so they can fulfill their destinies. I wrote this after being fired by DC Comics in the summer of 2012. Twice in the same week, if you can believe that. Because once wasn't good enough for them. But it left me thinking, what's going to happen to Hawkman? And as I thought about it, I was like, wow, that'd be a really great comic. What happens to characters when their series are canceled? And the really cool thing is about this project, besides the beautiful artwork by Cesar Madaro, he got George Perez to do a jam cover with him for our book. And this is quite possibly the very last George Perez cover ever. I don't know if anyone else is holding on to a George Perez cover, but man, as far as I know, this is the last cover. George drew Queen Madeline inside the crystal ball. Caesar drew everything else around it, beautifully colored by Anthony George. This is a piece of history right here. It's available by itself. It's also available as our featured tier, which is the fan pack. You get the George Perez cover. You get this beautiful Chris Graves variant cover. And then the black and white edition of the book, plus the hardcover art book, Emerged the Art of Heather Martin. Heather is a friend of mine. She's done pinups for books, U.S. Assassin, Loose Threads, and Black Owl. But this is a collection of her artwork she did while she was battling cancer 6 times. Absolutely beautiful artwork. Nice hardcover collection. All 4 books for $100. If you signed up for the mailing list, the secret tier is still in play. Only $80, a $20 discount. But we're in the final days. Five days left. The book is complete. So this would be another fast turnaround. I'm not going to have the in-demand store open long. So definitely, if you're considering it, pull the trigger soon. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. And speaking of the chat,
before we came online that we were both amazed that more people aren't grabbing that George Perez cover.
Yeah.
I mean, the other cover, the variant cover's phenomenal as well. It would be hard to pick between the two, but I mean, I grab everything I can that's Perez, even before his passing. Yeah. So to see something like this, I'm like, oh, dude. First of all, I'm jealous as hell, but second of all, very cool.
Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah, this is. I have a lot of things to reconsider after this campaign. Where it went wrong, but for the people who have supported the book, thank you so much. This is a passion project of mine. Like I said, I wrote it after losing my job at DC, so that was 10 years ago. So this is a book I've been trying to get off the ground for 10 years. Cesar Madaro approached me, and he was just the perfect person to draw this book, and the artwork is absolutely stunning. But I want to say hello to the chat. We got Nefarious in the chat. What's up, Nef?
Hey, Nefarious, what's going on?
Of course, we got Dojo in the house.
Dual duty.
D-Wag, bow. Bat on my face. And Amanda B doing the good work, sharing all the links. Thank you, Amanda.
Look at her being the link master already.
I could have sworn you said bow on my face.
Hopefully that doesn't catch up.
Oh, it will.
And one more project I want to share because it's also one of my properties, Graveyard Shift Omega Storm, currently shadow banned by Indiegogo. We haven't gotten word what the deal is about this, but if you search Indiegogo, you will not find the project. You have to have the direct link to find it. It's not stopping us, though. We're over $85,000, 21 days left in the campaign, 3 weeks. This is a supplemental book. It fits in right after volume 4, which was written by me. This supplemental story is written by John, 140 pages. It makes it the biggest Graveyard Shift book to date. We introduced the new team, Omega Storm. This is the third team in the Graveyard Shift universe. There's Graveyard Shift, Division X, and now Omega Storm. And if you picked up supplemental book 2 with the Runer story, these guys tie into Runer. Beautiful artwork by Tommy Patterson, who drew the Brahm story for supplemental book 3, and he also helped pitch in for the Runer story with book 2, the supplemental book 2. But he is just killing it. This artwork is fantastic. Inked by Jimmy Reyes. But we also are offering for the first time the collected edition of volumes 3 and 4. This is written by me with artwork by Aaron Alfeche and Jose Garcia. And then this is very near and dear to my heart. Collected edition of Little Graveyard Shift, written by me and my son Chase. Artwork by Nerd Wonder and Kyung Lee. Chase is thrilled about this. I'm always thrilled when I get to include him in my projects. So back Graveyard Shift Omega Storm, 3 weeks left. It's not mandatory for Graveyard Shift 5, which is coming next year. But if you want to go more in depth into the story, which is a huge storyline we're doing right now, this is definitely something you don't want to miss out on.
And there's plenty of completist collectors out there they're going to want the whole thing.
Yeah,
I'm one of those.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we just added the John Malin variant cover to the final 30 days of the campaign. So all you Malin militia members, you'll want to back it as well. But that does it for my part of the shilling on the show. Now it's your turn, guys. We got 2 projects to talk about. First off, Doge, I've been on your channel and we've hung out a few times. You've been in the chat. Jake, we don't really get to talk much. Tell the chat a little about yourself.
I would say I'm about 5'10", horrendously good looking.
Dude, it's not a dating app.
Oh, okay. No, but I'm a little Southern guy. Grew up in the Southern states my whole life. Got into comics around my sophomore year of high school, and started out with DC Comics, and then as it went on, got more into like the New 52. So I like the street level style of vigilantes like Green Arrow, Daredevil, the Bat Family, and just basically started writing actual comic books in 2018, a couple years after I lost my left hand. So this story that I'm doing called Cobalt is basically my own personal way of working through it and helping others that have dealt with limb loss and losses of personal tragedies and stuff, to try and help them through. And it's just one of those passion projects that I've been working on now. And yeah. Sorry, didn't really have an opening monologue in mind.
No, that was great. How did you fall into Comicsgate with all us?
Well, I grew up a nerd, and you know, when I was in high school, like I said, I got into comics. But I was watching Smallville, and all my friends were like, "Dude, you need to drop that shit and go read the actual comics." So, you know, they handed me a couple, and fell in love with them. I fell in love with the art, you know, all the bright colors and everything. It really helped with my ADHD. So, you know, I just kept on logging in and collecting more books, and then as I got older, I just got into creative writing when I was in, you know, college. So I did creative writing classes, took English courses and stuff like that. But I was more of a theater buff, you know, in high school and college. But it was that creative side that I always enjoyed. And then, you know, in 2018, I met a group of kids who all were wanting to create a comic book for kids that they could identify with, because I was amputated in 2013 on my left hand. I lost 4 fingers. And so I became part of that limb different community. And we wanted to give those kids something that they could relate to. And we created this comic called Super Abled. And that was my first 7-page origin story for a comic, which was Cobalt. And I fell in love with it. I fell in love with collaborating with artists. I fell in love with writing and creating the stories. And it's like a drug, man. I can't get enough of it. I want to continue until people push me out the door.
Yeah, no, that's how it is with me. I really love the collaborative part of making comics. Just the back and forth with the artist. They bounce ideas off of me. I'm not I don't know. I've never been the type of writer that was like, you know, follow the script 100%. If someone has an idea, that I want to hear it, because I just love, I don't know, it gets my mind working. Dojo, are you the same way when you're writing your books?
Yeah, when I write it as if it's a script for a play or a screenplay, and I have it in my mind how I want it to look. But several times my artist has come back and said, you know, what if we did this? And I was like, you know what? That's 10 times better. Yeah, do that. And so I've come to appreciate the fact that the artist is just as much a storyteller as the writer.
Yeah, no, they'll be thinking of things I might not think of, and I save the dialogue for after the artwork is done. It's just the way I started, and then when I started working with Rob Liefeld, I would just get completed pages, and he would just tell me to write a script for it. So as a writer, that's sort of how my mind works. Sometimes the artist will do a facial expression on a character I wasn't expecting, and that'll just I don't know, it'll give me a new idea for the character or for even the storyline. So yeah, I'm all for the collaborative merits of comic book making. Oh, Amanda B says Jake also has an uber cute baby that's probably not much of a baby anymore. 18 months?
No, he actually turned 1 last month on the 20th. So yeah, but he's definitely a little hellhound right now. He's getting into everything. He just started learning how to move 12 steps in a row. So he's getting into everything now.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's crazy. My son Chase is now 12, but it seems like just yesterday he was a baby. Cherish those times.
I was just going to say, you're going to miss this. Dee and I have 5 sons, the oldest of which is 33, the youngest of which is now, I think he's 20. So they're definitely all grown and gone. But yeah, we have a brood of those hellions you're talking about.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I wouldn't trade him for the world. Everybody in my vicinity will be used as a human meat shield to protect them throughout life. But other than that, but yeah, man, it's a crazy ride being a dad. I've never had so many emotions hit me at one time of wanting to just soothe his wounds, but yet kill him at the same time, and then just, you know, want to just so much happens at one time when you have a kid. It's crazy.
So let's talk Cobalt. I'm going to bring the campaign page up. Jake, this is the second volume. Tell us about it.
Yeah, this is issue 2. It's called Death Stalks Us. So it picks up right after issue 1. So I can't really get into it without spoiling what happened in issue 1, which kind of sucks, but it's going to be another 32 page comic, and then I'm working on another 7-page introductory story or an excerpt from a different book that I'm working on also called Brick House that'll be in the back of it. And anyway, what happens is all of the gangs in Atlanta are now trying to take that number one position because the Aranya cartel that used to be in that number one position was just dismantled by Cobalt. And after he went into hiding, he got the bug that he wanted to continue with the vigilantism. And so he put the mask back on and went out there and started beating up some baddies. And then one night while he was doing that, he got into something that he's going to see as unfolding into a much larger ordeal than what he was initially prepared to deal with. And so this is what picks up and Death Stalks Us.
Nice. I'm going to play the video, and then we'll go over the campaign.
Okay.
Wow, that's a great trailer. Did you
appreciate
do that yourself,
it? No. On the first issue, Atlantis Thrashing, I had Red Gaze do it, and then the second time around, I believe he was busy or had a lot going on, so I didn't even hit him up. I got a lady from Fiverr to do this one for me.
Oh, nice. She did a fantastic job.
I will relay it to her.
Amanda B says, I read the first, and no discredit to Jake, but I wasn't prepared for how much I would like it. It's a great story.
Oh, appreciate it.
So is it possible to get the first issue in this campaign?
Yes, there are two catch-up tiers, one in PDF form and then one in the physical form.
Awesome. I'm going to scroll through the page, look at some of the artwork, which is absolutely stellar. Who's the artist on the book?
Okay, so a lot's taken place, and I've got a new update also today. So the artist on this is Erwin J. Arosa, and back in around February, Marches, he had to kind of drop off and find different means to take care of his family. So I was actually looking for an artist for a couple months to pick up where he left off. And it was hard to do because I found one person, but he wasn't delivering quick enough. And a month or so went by without him delivering anything. And then I tried to pick up a second artist, and he's doing well too. But Erwin just got back to me and asked me if he could finish up what he started on this issue. And after a little bit of back and forth, he is back on to complete Death Stalks Us.
No, that's great news.
The artist is here once again. It is the dynamic duo back again. We're about to deliver some awesome shit to you. I can't wait to finally get this thing completed and to everybody. So we are back on course.
That's awesome to hear. You also have this great Adam Miller piece, I believe.
Yes. When I saw Adam Miller, he had just done, what was it? Which book did he just complete doing? It's the piece that has the big purple monster on it.
Oh, was it Inglorious Rex?
Yes, Inglorious Rex. And as soon as I saw that, I saw how beautiful it was. I immediately went to him and was like, Adam, I need you to do a piece for me for Cobalt. And he obliged, and this is what he brought to me. I gave him two characters that one I'm about to bring into the story with Cobalt, and then that is the backdrop of Atlanta as it is now sitting in the cyberpunk neo-noir setting that it is now. And instead of being the center of Atlanta, this is now known as Hell's Playground.
That's awesome. So when I saw this piece, I actually contacted Adam Miller and hired him to do a U.S. Assassin cover for me.
That's awesome. I'm glad I could help him out.
Volume 4 guest stars Roddy Piper, and Adam got to paint Roddy, U.S. Assassin, Bazooka Dog, and the Mercenary. Fantastic cover. I can't wait to launch the book. But yeah, your piece inspired me to reach out to him.
How did you get the ability to get Roddy Piper in your book?
So Eric Hodson, who's part of our community, he's doing the Roddy Piper Killed Avenger comic book, and I'm friends with him. And I asked, "Do you think it's possible?" And he that I could get Roddy for a volume, and he said he would introduce me to his family. So I talked to the Piper estate; they loved the idea, and I got to add Roddy to the team for a volume.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
that's
wicked. It's Roddy was my hero growing up, so this is like a dream come true for me.
Hell yeah, that's crazy. That man, to be able to do that, especially with one of your childhood, heroes, that's epic.
Yeah, it's a big deal for me. I also see you have a 6 a.m. Sticker, or
well, the
rule of thumb.
Yeah, the rule of thumb is you're not really CG until you have a 6 a.m. sticker, right?
Right.
So,
this is killer.
I've got that. This is actually going to be a magnet that you get with the issue that comes to you. So yeah, instead of doing stickers this time around, they're all going to be magnets. I want my CG characters on your fridge. I want you to be reminded about backing them and enjoying them throughout your day.
That's awesome. I was telling, I forget who it was, but once you get enough 6 a.m. stickers, you should just see about getting like a color form playset made.
Oh yeah, that would be wicked.
Have you seen the collage of the characters he's done? I mean, I think there's hundreds.
Yeah,
there's.
I keep telling him he needs to cut it off so I can print it and not worry about him adding more characters. And then just start a new collage. That would be like CG 2.0.
There you go. Instead of Spider-Man looking over his shoulder, have it like be Batman looking over his in the other direction.
There you go. Mike McMahon's in the house. Mike, yep, we're aware that the echo. We're doing our best.
It's me, Mike. I'm sorry.
Also, General Piggy's in the house. What's up, General? So let's go through the tiers. Your featured tier is, in case you missed it, physical edition, physical copies of Cobalt Atlantis Thrashing and Cobalt Death Stalks Us, and the Chibi sticker.
Yep, that is correct.
Do the books come signed by you?
Did I do that this time around? No, they do not. But if you send me an email and you're like, dude, I need an autograph, I'll go ahead and do that for you. I don't care. I don't care to make extra money off my signature. I'll do that for anybody.
Sounds good. $15, the digital. This is just Cobalt Death Stalks Us digital edition.
Yes.
I saw some debate on Twitter recently about the merits of digital, whether you should have it or not. Some people say it leads to piracy. I don't really think it. I mean, it probably does, but I think people are going to buy the book if they're going to buy it if they want it. They're not going to steal it to get it.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
And even for when it comes to PDFs, people asking if they should be cheaper or pay the same. Mainstream, yeah, you pay the same, but I think in the indie circuit, I don't really care which way you go with it. Me personally, I'll make it a little bit cheaper just because it doesn't have the cost of making a physical added to it, but there's still, the art that went into it, and uh, speed, the captions and everything like that, and having to set it up and whatnot. So you might not be. I won't make you pay for like the physical, copy price, but yeah, I'll knock off a couple bucks for PDF. I don't care.
Yeah, I was the same way anytime I offered digital. For $25, both issues of Cobalt digitally, and then physical fight. This is Cobalt Death Stalks Us and the Chibi sticker, $25. Now with the artist back on board, when do you estimate fulfillment will be?
Well, Irwin has an excellent turnaround, and I mean excellent. Like he can deliver like 2 to 3 pages in a week, just depending on how much he wants to sit down and just knock them out. So, if anybody's looking for an artist, you see his art, and yeah, he has my full support. But yeah, we'll have this knocked out way before. I want to have it to you by Christmas. I'll say that.
Nice. Be Vigilant, $40. Physical copy of Cobalt Death Stalks Us, a 16 by 20 poster, and the Chibi sticker. That's awesome. So that's what this piece down here is. The 16 by 20 poster, beautiful picture of Cobalt looking down at the city.
Yeah, that's actually the splash page from issue 1, and I loved it so much, and people kept on saying you need to make that a poster, and I did exactly what the customer wanted. I made it a poster.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. All right, Take My Hand, $100. Physical copy of Death Stalks Us, ad space, and the Chibi sticker. That's awesome. 2 out of 4 have been taken so far. 2 spots left. Get your ad inside. Beautifully put together book. This is a good deal.
Yeah, Nefarious, he took one of the ad spaces last time on Atlantis Thrashing for his book Mavericks, and so he's actually the back of the cover.
Let's catch up with the chat. Amanda B on backer number 4. Looking forward to those magnets. General Piggy was backer number 3. Got some supporters in the house, Jake.
Yep, I love every single one of them. They make it worthwhile for me. I appreciate them.
And then $100. The name's Cobalt. Physical copy of Cobalt Death Stalks Us, 16 by 20 poster, metal print, and Chibi sticker. And the metal print is the Adam Miller piece, correct?
Yes.
Excellent. Yeah, so this book is fantastic looking. Dojo, when he reached out to be on the channel, he asked if you could come on too, because he just thought this book was severely underfunded. And I agree with him. This is a great looking book, and you've already you're a proven commodity. You've already shown that you can fulfill a book. This should be doing way better. So if you're in the chat or you're watching later and you haven't backed Cobalt, please consider it. The more money Jake gets, the more he can put towards Cobalt 3 and making this volume even better.
And you know what? I would have been a lower number as far as backers go on this second issue, but I was on the stream with him when he launched, so I didn't have a chance to get at it until after the stream was done. But yeah, when 3 comes out, I'm a day 1 backer, 4, 5, 6, however many he goes, because like Amanda alluded to earlier, this is his first. Atlantis Thrashing was his first time out of the gate, and yeah, he found a great artist, and his writing was stellar. So it's the kind of thing where I definitely wanted the second one. Looking at the second one, I can't wait to get it. So yeah, when I see his backer number, I think it should be at least double what he's got so far.
Amanda B says Dojo is a slacker.
Appreciate it.
So Jake, what's the future hold for Cobalt and for you? Any new projects, non-Cobalt in the works?
Yes. As I said, I'm working on a 7-page excerpt or origin or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, 7 pages of like showing off what the idea I have for another story called Brick House, which takes
It's a
place.
preview.
Yeah, sure, preview that takes place within the Cobalt universe, but it's not necessarily connected to Cobalt just yet. So Brick House is going to be my first female heroine within the Cobalt universe, and then after that, I have a couple other ideas on the back burner that I want. I believe wholly that CG needs to start making a more kid-friendly books to try and bring in the younger generation, the younger audiences, books that parents would probably allow their kids to read. So I've been working on one right now that's called, since I just had Wesley, it's kind of like a nod to him. It's called Infantry versus the Neonates. So, it's kind of like, the military taking on neo-Nazis, neonates, it's wordplay, but yeah, so it's kind of like that. It's kind of like codename Kids Next Door with a mix of like the Rugrat imagination when they go on missions or whatever, or adventures, but definitely with the idea of like Baby Herman from Roger Rabbit.
I love it. I'm a sucker for a clever name. So infantry, you already have me.
Cool. And then one more I'm working on is called Damascus, based on the Damascus blade, which takes multiple metals to create one beautiful work of art. And that's basically taking different deities and folklores and mythologies and mashing them together to create this like one epic story of one side's trying to take on the supreme divinity, and then those who had fallen, some of them want to be redeemed, so they're trying to work through their millennia, trying to get accepted back into the good graces. But as that takes place, the ones that had fallen beside them see how they're trying to get back into the good graces of the supreme, and they're not having it. So a lot of deities and demigods are fighting one another in this book called Damascus, Forging Alliances.
That's awesome. So guys, make sure you back Cobalt. Help Jake get these other titles that he wants to produce out. All right. Next up. Dojo Kun. Doge, you're no stranger to the community. Let me pull up your campaign page, but this is what campaign number for you? You've had quite a few.
Well, this is campaign number 4. The 2 in the middle didn't make it, but I think that we've covered some of the missteps there, and I gathered all of the lessons learned on those and applied it to this one here. And I think that this one has a title that resonates, or at least it's memorable because it rhymes. You know, some folks have made jokes about it, which is fine. I love those. I lean into those because that means that they care enough to think about it that long, So yeah, this will be a continuation of the superhero universe that Siamese was a part of. And in fact, they make a cameo in this book.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love that some people are creating these universes. That's what I'm doing with all my characters. I loved in the early Image days when all the original characters would cross over. So you're saying you have Siamese already making an appearance. Do you have other plans for crossovers? Because I know you have other properties as well.
Yeah, on my website, I have a book called the Dojo Kun Annual Compendium, and that compendium is my homage to the official handbook of the Marvel Universe. And basically, it shows all of my characters with a full body pose and all of their stats, history, origin, etc. And there's 150 characters in that book that are set to be a part of this universe. And this is my 13th book. Now that it's funded, I can say it will be published. So I've been publishing comics since 2014. It wasn't until 2021, though, that I discovered crowdfunding and was able to put Siamese trade paperback together. So although I've been around a while publishing, I'm still fairly new. Like Jake, this is my second outing. Hopefully, I'll be able to fulfill this and get this in the hands of everyone's, all the backers. And in fact, because it's funded, you can back it with confidence because this book will be made.
And I'm a backer of Siamese, and I got the hardcover. So Dojo is another guy who fulfills. So back with confidence, you're going to get a Projectile Reptile.
Would you mind going to the trailer next?
Sure, let's do it.
Thank you.
Infamous gunslinger Desmond Gibbons, better known across the Wild West as the Cactus Kid, comes to the sleepy town of Clarkson. Trouble finds him in the unlikeliest of sources, the sheriff. After their conflict, the Cactus Kid finds himself inexplicably wearing the badge of a lawman. Later, while on the trail of a serial killer, he and his deputy run afoul of a powerful druid, and the events that lead to the Cactus Kid's transformation into the hulking, four-armed projectile reptile are even more than the druid bargained for. From the Wild West to current-day Los Angeles, where he meets superheroes Black Eagle and Red Hawk, and forms an uneasy alliance with the stunning but deadly Kitty Hawk. Join the projectile reptile on a journey of gunslinging druidic magic, superheroes, and artifacts. Projectile Reptile from Dojo Kun Comics, only on Indiegogo. Are you ready for the truly Wild West?
Great trailer, Dojo. Who is the voiceover narrator?
I found him on Fiverr, but you may recognize the voice because he's the guy who does In a World.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's surprisingly affordable. Now, he's not the first guy who did it. The first guy who did that narration passed on. So this is the replacement. But yeah, he's great to work with. He's quick and very accommodating. So I love that I've got him on this trailer.
Yeah, so you and Jake both use people from Fiverr. I use Fiverr for the rap intros for my videos. I got made fun of for using Fiverr, but man, there's a lot of talented people out there.
There really is. And I didn't want to interrupt when you guys were talking about it, but the person who put together the trailer video for Jake also did mine.
Oh, I
He
might
referred
have
me
to,
to her.
I'm going to have to reach out to you guys and get a name because I thought
Oh,
you were
yeah,
doing
man.
great.
I'm here to help.
Yep.
So like you said, the name is very catchy and fun to say. So it definitely sticks with you.
I got the idea from a frequent member of the chat whose name is Tentacle Pentacle.
I was going to ask that because that's what it
Yep.
reminds me of.
That was sort of like the inspiration when I learned that my anthology book Toro Tales or Totoro Tales, part of the reason that maybe it didn't resonate with people is because the title was difficult to say. They didn't understand that a Totoro is the stone lantern in my company's logo. So there was a lot of things that sort of distanced them from the title. So in this case, I wanted to find something that was fun, memorable, and that, would grab people's attention. And thankfully, that's what this has done.
Awesome. So you have a bunch of covers for this. Who's this cover by right here?
That cover is the main cover, and that's by the interior artist. His name is Caius. He's an artist from Brazil. And as you can probably tell, that is an homage to several Iron Man covers that Bob Layton had done.
Yeah, I was going to say it looks familiar. It was really cool. And then one of my favorite artists, Renzo Rodriguez.
Yes. In fact, it was his work on your Bazooka Dog that got my attention, and I started talking to him about it. He has a piece of art that does have one woman in front of a saloon, and I asked him if he would put this cover together. Bancroft coined the phrase, "This is the ass grab cover." and also, too, we're bringing the gingers back. So
nice.
Renzo's good to work with. And then the third one is another hardcover. So you said you got the Siamese hardcover on that campaign. This one's going to be a hardcover of the same, in the same vein. So it's going to be slightly smaller than a standard comic book. But Shelby revealed that this will be the first time his work has ever been on a hardcover. So that's pretty exciting. Yeah, given the length of time he's been in the industry, it's cool to learn that the first time that'll happen is on my campaign.
That's
and
awesome.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go
this
ahead.
one too is also an homage. This is an homage to the Punisher #2, which was a 5-issue miniseries back in the 80s.
Yeah, I was going to say these two characters, the I would say like the Hawk type characters. These two guys really intrigue me.
Since you're working on Savage Hawkman, and I
Yeah,
don't doubt it. Yeah. So that's Black Eagle and Red Hawk. They're my love letter to characters like Batman and Robin. But of course, they're going to have their own origins, their own motivations, etc. I think it's impossible anymore to put comic books together and not have it be, reminiscent of something that's happened already before. It's just a matter of taking your, the inspiration that you got from those characters and then putting your own spin on it to make it an original story.
yeah, absolutely. And here's some of the interior artwork. Really well done. So this takes place uh, over a long time period. So you not only have the old west, but you have modern day superheroes. Uh,
Yeah, so what happens is he runs afoul of that druid, like the trailer mentions, and he's transformed into the projectile reptile. And then shortly thereafter, he's catapulted forward through time. So although that does have time travel involved, that will be the only time travel is involved. I don't want to keep going back and forth and using that lazy trope that if you go back in time, you can fix things that you did wrong. So
right.
no, it's just going to be a catapult forward in time, and that's where he meets some of the superheroes in the connected superhero universe.
Nice.
And naturally, I don't think it's too spoilery. It's a common trope, but they're going to, of course, have a misunderstanding at the beginning and test each other's metal first.
And we have the character Kitty Hawk. What can you tell us about her?
I can say this much: she has a direct connection to Siamese, but I don't want to say any more than that.
Bonus for the first 100 backers.
Yeah,
Some more 6 a.m. goodness.
that's right. You're not a CG creator unless you've got 6 a.m. involved, and I'm sure he's really happy to hear us all say that. But like Jake, this one's going to be a fridge magnet. And so,
yeah, he's working on 4 stickers for me right now.
is he?
Yeah.
Great. He does such a
Magnets. He's working on magnets for you.
He's great. He's got a very unique style, and
Yeah.
it grabs the attention. So of course I'm biased because this is my character, but I think this is one of his best ones.
Oh yeah, this is fantastic. I love it, and it's such a cool character.
Thank
So
you.
add-ons, full color comic size print featuring art by Peter Orchard Studios. This is a great piece as well.
Yeah, he was the winner of the Projectile Reptile fan art contest, and this this piece that he did just captures the character perfectly. And in fact, I've also asked his permission to use that character that he has defeated at Projectile Reptile's feet. That character was his own that he put in there as sort of an opponent, and I think it's great. It's like the facial expressions you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Just seeing this guy there, defeated. It brought to mind several storylines that I think, or I hope you'll see in the future.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome. And then you can add on the different covers, digital version as well. Dojo, where do you stand? Obviously, I guess you're for it with the digital debate.
Well, there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, of course, for those international backers that don't want to pay more for shipping than for the book itself, there are some people who just simply prefer to have it in the digital format. And then my third take on it is, I suppose that it does, expose you to the risk of somebody pirating it. But I'll tell you what, if there's people out there who like my work to the point where they're going to work hard enough to pirate it and get it out there to even more eyes, although I would lament the lack of, funds, I think it's great that they like it enough that they want to, that they think it's worth stealing. Let's put it that way.
Yep. And then you have chibi stickers as well.
That's right. Yeah, these are by Alex Thompson. Alex is great to work with too, because let's say, for example, the one in the middle, the projectile reptile, when I gave him a picture of the character, he came back with 6 different sketches to choose from as to which one I wanted him to, wrap up in color. So it's cool that he goes that extra mile to find the right one for you.
That's awesome. Yeah, these are super cute. And then you're offering Siamese as well.
Yep, this is a second printing. It's a never before seen cover. Now, this was a canvas print on the first campaign for Siamese, but now it's on the cover and the artist here is Cy Lim. He's a New Zealander, and he is the co-creator of these characters.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so it's great to get a cover by him. He's very, very busy, so it was a great get to get that from him.
Oh, and you have a Keshi figure. That's awesome.
Yep, Eric Hutfels comes through again. It was fun. He sent me pictures throughout the development process, so it was really cool to see that, as it was, from the wire frame that he uses all the way up to the finished piece.
Amazing. And there's the finished piece there. But that's not it. You have the Projectile Reptile Mint Tin game.
Yeah, this one here, I wanted to come up with something that I hadn't seen on any other campaigns. So this game will have 10 cards with stats, and then it'll have dice in that mint tin as well. And what you do is you add up the stats of the characters, you roll the dice, and you add the two sums in order to find out if your card beats your opponent's card. I designed it such that even though some of the characters are far stronger than others, depending on the roll of the dice, any card can beat any other. But you got to roll really good sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. I love seeing I love seeing people do new things. So I love the idea of a card game.
So yeah, I plan to do this in the future too. In fact, some folks have even suggested taking the card game itself by itself to Kickstarter. I might.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. And then you have the Bog all foil ash can.
Yeah, this one here, I can't take credit for the idea. The idea came to me from Joe M. Sontag, who did an all foil destroyer ash can.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that. I'm going to use the same vendor, as a matter of fact. And Bog is an alien plant menace. It's an 8-page origin story, sort of a preview like Jake is doing with Brickhouse. And Bog, an alien group comes to his planet as a scouting group. He makes it abundantly clear that they're not welcome. But then word gets back to their home planet, what happened to them, and their home planet sends a much stronger force the second time. And then what happens next changes him and his whole world.
Man, this is another really cool looking character. Dojo, you have a bunch of cool characters, sexy female characters, a catchy name. I'm going to say your book's underfunded as well.
Oh, thank you.
You should be doing much better.
Of course, I'm biased, but I agree.
And stretch goals. We haven't unlocked any yet, but you're very close to the first one, the metal trading card.
Yep, we're getting there. The metal trading card, of course, is by Phoenix Animation. I went to a convention here in the Detroit area that I knew he was going to be there. So I met him in person and watched him sell his wares. The dude is making some serious bank, to the point where that's become his full-time job now. So kudos to him for doing such great products, and throughout the CG community, but also in the weeb community too.
Nice. Let's go through the tiers now.
Okay.
Your featured tier is the Kitty Hawk tier. Tell me everything that's in this.
Okay, so you get a copy of all 3 books. That's in the limited edition hardcover, the chibi stickers, the mint tin game, the Bog ash can, the digital version of the file, as well as the catch-up tier for Siamese. And in fact, I think, yes, now that I see it there, I've also included the Peter Orchard print in that one too.
Nice. This is a whole lot of cool stuff for $160.
Yeah, I tried to make that definitely worthwhile. And although I think it says only 2 people have availed themselves of that, there was a secret discount tier on that one. So it's actually quite a bit more than 2 people.
Oh, nice. And your estimated shipping is February 2023. How close are you to hitting that date?
I talked to my creators, the artist and the colorist, once that was funded, and we talked about what kind of pace they're going to need to have. Cayuse gets about 3 to 4 pages a week, so I think we're definitely on a pace to hit that mark.
That's great to hear. $10, you can just get the Keshi figure. Very nice. $12, the digital tier.
That's if you get it by itself. If you get it as an add-on, it's only $8, because of course that means you're also getting the physical.
Yeah, that's a great discount. Now physical copies, you can get the cover A tier. Really
Right.
nice cover.
Cover A by Cayuse, which I think is popular. The Renzo Rodriguez cover, also $25 because those are both soft covers. This, by the way, is a 48-page full-color square-bound
Nice.
comic. And then, of course, there's a hardcover version. But the next thing that comes up, because they go in dollar amount order, is the second printing of Siamese with a new cover by Cy Lim. That's 128 pages.
That's a great price. And then you have the Shelby Robertson hardcover for $40.
Yes, and there a large number of people are really grabbing onto that one too. So
yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. Great artwork. I'm a fan.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
What's next for you, Dojo? I know you probably got something in the works.
Oh my gosh, I've got so many things waiting in the wings. Yes. So once this gets fulfilled, Siamese 2 will get launched. And Siamese 2 is going to be called Trident's New Alliance. And that will bring together the superheroes that are introduced through Siamese and Projectile Reptile. They're going to come together eventually as a superhero team.
That's awesome. It's good to hear that you're working on stuff. I really enjoyed Siamese. I'm gonna back both of your books after this live stream. Both look great.
Thanks, Mark.
Dojo, thank you for tipping me off on Cobalt.
Yeah, you bet.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so we're about to wrap this up. Dojo, I know you have your own channel and you just switched formats on your show. Tell us a little about that and then where else people can find you at.
Okay, yes, thank you. Incendiary is the name of the new show. It's still every Wednesday night at 10 o'clock. In fact, Jake, here on our panel today, is also a regular panelist on that show, along with Smiling Bandito and Blue Samurai Zero. The four of us are going to bring on a single guest each time. And we're going to, of course, we'll talk about their campaign a little bit, but we're also going to bring up a topic that may, during discussion, get a little incendiary. I know our first show got a little heated here and there. Somebody said, ooh, hot take. And the next one is going to be, so the first one was Brian Christgau, who did Six Gun Gorilla. The next episode will be, of course, this coming Wednesday, and Graham Nolan will be joining us.
Oh, that's excellent.
The theme will be sex appeal in comics. What crosses the line?
Awesome. Sounds like a must-watch show.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And then you can find me on Twitter at Dojo Kun Comics. My YouTube channel is youtube.com/c/Dojo Kun Comics. And you can find me on Facebook at the same name as well. I tried to be consistent with that, so I was easy to find.
And you have a website too, correct?
I do, dojokuncomics.com.
There you go.
My previous library is all available print to order.
That's awesome. Jake, where can people find you at?
They can find me on Twitter or Instagram at the tags of Tail End Studio or at Bionic Bruh.
Awesome. And you're also a member of Dojo's new show?
I am. Yeah. And let me tell you, I will be well prepared this time around rather than I was this last time.
You're going to bring those hot takes?
You know it. I'm even going to bring the perfect examples.
Sounds
awesome. Looking forward to it.
I want to thank everyone in the chat. I want to thank Amanda B for sharing the links. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Coney Waves. Make sure you easy for me to say, subscribe to Primetime Poulton, hit the notifications, and check out my website, hauntedpizzallc.com. I have all my back catalog, t-shirts, hoodies for Graveyard Shift, U.S. Assassin. Check it out. And 5 days left for Loose Threads. Grab a piece of history. What could be the very last cover by George Perez. Thanks for watching, guys.